Yo, what's up guys, this is Happy Now with another Guild Wars 2 PvP video, and this time with the power of Firebrand, a mix of healing, DPS support build, and I'm going with the Firebrand for my second video because I decided that I just need a little bit more time to present to you the best DH build to play, and I've seen a lot of Firebrands playing right now, so far better said, and most of them were using some similar builds, and I choose to make a mix of the meta build, I would say, how it is right now. I haven't seen how they played, but I came up with this build which is basically like almost the same as before with some slight changes to it. And I just need a second, one more time. I'm using here two mantras, one meditation skill, one signet, and of course the elite skill, which is also a meditation skill. And why I choose this setup is because it is the perfect mix of survivability, being annoying, and support, everything like this. You can see this here. I try to make the enemies focus me at the beginning here instead of my ally, because my ally is of course the weaker target here. I mean, he's a bunker necro, but he has nothing to offer to encounter huge pressure, so that's why my goal was to start up here. I use my Contemplation of Purity here and go back to heal myself up, and meanwhile my ally can just apply some damage. The enemy necro is also on his elite form, which he already is he just wasted his elite skill, I guess. Just something like that. And my necro on this game, I don't know what rating he was, but he was just not targeting the right guy, and I try here to be just a little bit more than annoying, helping my ally, taunting the enemy players, just CCing them, and I'm able here to get the first kill. But the problem here is that my ally is not there to interrupt the enemy necro. I was able to interrupt him once, but he gets the revive, and I have to waste my elite skill here now. Not to waste it, but to use it for safety reasons. And to get up away here, I activate my shields so I can channel my mantra here and just try to keep the distance a little bit so I can also safely fully charge my mantra and therefore heal myself up a little bit again. I try here to get some CCs, but sadly my double CCs got blocked, and from here on I just need to play it a little bit passive, how to say it. I don't have to engage so much because the enemy necro is a tank and my necro is not focusing the right targets, so it took a little bit time here at the first game for us to get this win here. But you can see it here, the advantage of this. I can double CC here and just be annoying, interrupting the necro for a third time and the fourth time here with my chapter 3 on the Virtue 1. But my ally necro was just not able to interrupt or apply the needed pressure to get fast kills here. So this game took us, like the first game took us really long, but on the other games we were doing a little bit better. And you can see this here, the DH getting his second elite skill up. I go here for the healing because I thought we need some healing, some cleanse for my ally so he can apply damage, but he's again not there for me and I have to do it here on my own. I just auto attack, apply huge pressure to the DH, but my ally is just focusing the wrong target again, and it just takes again some more time for us, and we were able to get this guy down again, and luckily this time the necro was not watching it carefully, so we are able to get the downed guy here safely. And from here on you can see this, for the people who don't know it, the overtime, and if the overtime hits the area, the PvP area will shrink down, and a deadly field will come up closer to the middle of the point, and this deadly field will just drain your HP if you run towards it or inside of it, so you have to watch out a little bit. And here's something interesting. I lay down my symbol and pull the necro inside of it so I can have the damage and the CC on him, and you can see this here. You get also HP recovery block, which means during this time you can't heal yourself up. You can cleanse conditions, but the healing will not work. And by the way, for the people who lose the first game or the second game, you can still open the tab the build tab and swap around your build while you are dead, because I've seen a lot of people don't understand this and they don't swap builds. I really recommend to swap builds. And by the way, I will show you the build after this gameplay. I'm doing this always like this to just show you a little bit how to play it and what you can do, what you can get with my builds, and afterwards I explain the builds. You can see this, I don't hesitate too much. I wait a little bit for the enemy players to focus me, to apply some pressure onto me. If they do it right, they will get me really hard, but if they fail with it, I will easily sustain that. And you can see this here. As a Firebrand, you just have to work a lot with your CCs and just try to be as annoying as possible for the enemy players. And basically the best thing is, by the way, for sure to just team play and not to solo play this. I'm pulling this guy again. I'm waiting here, I have my shield. My Necro was just not interrupting this guy at all. That was like not so great from him. He was not knowing how to use his CCs properly, but luckily we were able to get here double kill. I don't know how the DH even died here, but we were able to do the second game much faster and better. And you can just see it here, the symbols deal heavy damage, and with this build you have 1, 2, 3, 4 CCs and a fifth one as well to taunt people, and a sixth one with your chains of light, which will immobilize the enemy player. And with this build, even when you immobilize someone, you will apply burning and slow onto them. So Firebrand is really a huge annoying profession to play, but it seemed to work, and I had some easy games with it. If I had a good ally, I was able to really hardcore kill enemy players without a problem. And you can see this here, I'm applying a lot of burning. I go with my shields to block this guy's attacks. I wanted to stay in front of my ally here, so he will not get damaged. And I'm trying to heal him up, weaken the enemy players. And now again, applying some Aegis to my ally, going with this to block the projectiles, but my ally just runs out of it for whatever reason. And I just go with the CCs again, CCing, immobilizing, applying weakness, and just this combo is pretty annoying. Trying to pull now. The pull worked. Another slow, another burning. Applying this my F1 chapter effects to my ally, because he will apply more condition damage, therefore more burning, interrupting here again. And you can see this here. I try to stay also a little bit passive, not to run into the enemy players. Just keep on moving the entire time. You can see this. This is the best what you can do as a Firebrand. Lay down your symbols and just move around. Don't be an easy target for the enemy players. Just keep on moving. The Necro swapped the build. As you can see it here now, he's using his Signet to revive his ally, and he did really nice there. I could have even interrupted the DH. Now I'm seeing this. And you can see this here. What am I doing still? I'm just keep on moving, and that's what you should do. Just keep on moving and CC the enemy players. Let your symbols do the damage. He gets another revive, which annoyed me quite a lot here, because my ally was just not fearing at all. I activate my Contemplation of Purity because I got Condi bombed, and it worked pretty fine. I got 5 boons. And here you can see this here, what the Signet does. I'm really tanky. Condis will not apply that much damage to me, so I don't need to feel pressured by that, and I'm getting resistance from my healing skill, and in combination with this, it is just pure cancer, not cancer like, but it is pure really hard for enemies to encounter me. And now he has nothing left. I interrupt him here from the revive, but my ally is again not there. I interrupt one more time. He has like no fears and no damage to this guy to interrupt him there, but I'm luckily there to interrupt him. You can see this here, he almost gets the revive, and then I was able to interrupt him like for a 5th time or something. I just waste my healing skill here because I wanted to pop up my last symbol from my healing skill, and that would have been pretty nice, but so far it was okay like this. We got an easy kill as well here, and a 3-0. Now you can see this, the difficulty on those 2v2s is really when your ally does not target the right, or better said, the same target as you have. So try, if you have the first game like a loss because you were not targeting the right target, communicate with your ally. Try to tell them, hey dude, watch this guy, not the other one. Stop running away from me, I want to heal you and stuff. So they are noticed by you. Now let's go with the build and a lot of explaining here. So the Firebrand, I have to pause now the video. Mender Amulet, power, precision, vitality, healing power. The damage and healing comes from this. Meta 1, Rune of the Revenant, my choice here because every 10 seconds 2 seconds of quickness of resistance, which means your symbols will deal heavy damage even though you will get weakened or blinded, and this just allows you to pressure harder the enemy players. Yes, I wanted to explain something with the healing skill. Every second, how to say it, every time you use it you will get resistance and protection, and every 20 seconds you will get protection twice. And by the way, luminous weapon skins, Whisper Secret Scepter, and gold fractal focus for the skins. Sigil of Battle and Energy on both weapon sets, just because it gives you some extra damage pressure onto the enemies, and double dodge means double healing and extra survivability. Then to the build, I'm using here Seal, Honor and Firebrand. That's why you can play Firebrand, by the way. Then it is important to understand all the trait lines. Lesser Symbol of Wrath, every 30 seconds you will apply a symbol that will give you retaliation and apply vulnerability to enemy players and not so huge damage, but enough damage. This occurs every 70, if your HP drops every 75%, on the 75%, or what am I saying, every 30 seconds. Wrathful Spirit, Aegis grants boons when it ends. This is important to use because you can also go with Fiery Wrath for the, like, how to say it, extra damage. But I like this first option better because of the combo with the build. Yeah, the combo with the build is with this one here, Furious Focus. Every second when you have Fury, your attacks inflict vulnerability, which means in 10 seconds 10 stacks of vulnerability for almost something above 6 seconds, which is huge. A huge benefit, especially with this trait line here, Wrathful Spirit, which means every time you have Aegis you will grant yourself Fury, and Aegis will pop up with your healing skill and F3 Virtue every 30 seconds or 45 seconds automatically. And that's a huge benefit. Symbols inflict vulnerability on foes. Damage vulnerable foes is increased, which means if an enemy has vulnerability, you have a 5% damage bonus, and you will apply additional vulnerability stacks with symbols. So symbols apply vulnerability, and when you have Fury, which means double the vulnerability than you should normally do. And that means you can easily stack 10 to 25 stacks of vulnerability onto enemies, and this gives you and your ally a 25% damage bonus. Just as an example, if you land your symbols and are able to do that, especially strong when you cleave someone, easily 25% damage bonus, and in addition to that a 5% damage bonus from this trait line here. Huge. And your symbols have longer duration. That's like the perfect combo here to use. Passive symbol as well. Symbols deal increased damage and charge your Justice passive effect twice as fast. Your damage is increased whenever your symbols hit a foe, which means you will have from here on as well a 10% damage bonus, because those 15 seconds for one stack is huge. Then on Honor, you gain Vigor when you crit, Lesser Symbol of Protection when you use your healing skill every 20 seconds, which is huge. Applies protection, heals yourself up and some damage. When you dodge you will heal up yourself, that's why the energy rune comes in. Pure of Heart, 840 healing every time Aegis drops. You will have like 4 Aegis at the beginning of the fight. Virtue of Resolve's passive gives you 15% faster endurance recharge, and Writ of Persistence symbols gain increased duration and radius and heal allies. This is huge, those 2 seconds longer, and the radius is higher, and you will get healed up by this. It is not like a huge healing, but still better than nothing, and the radius of the symbols is also pretty nice. Your virtues become tomes now. Then Unrelenting Criticism, Axe skills gain a chance to inflict bleeding. Symbol of Vengeance now dazes on initial hit strike. Which means symbol 2 on the axe will now daze the enemy player, and you will be able to bleed enemy players, but it is not so effective because you have no might stacks and stuff. Swift Scholar, every 8 seconds equipping or stowing a virtue grants you quickness. You have to keep in mind those 8 seconds, and it is like 1.5 seconds of quickness. So the best thing here is on F1 virtue to pull the enemy players fast, and on the third one to taunt the enemy players. That's basically the main usage here. They could have done the quickness a little bit longer. Then I use Weight Lead Terms. This makes your mantras recharge faster by 20%, and the last usage of a mantra will immobilize enemy players. The immobilize is not so important because most likely you have to randomly use the last time to just survive. The main thing here is the reduced recharge, so you can use your Aegis more often, refresh it, grant yourself retaliation, fury, and healing. The main idea behind this. Imbued haste, gain increased attributes while affected by quickness. This will not affect so much, only if you use the quickness mantra, but that's something else that you can use later on. Stoic demeanor, I don't know how to say it right. Inflict burning and slow on foes you disable or immobilize, and that's why I also choose to play Scepter, because Scepter has immobilize. While for example the sword has the mobility but no immobilize, it will not be affected with this one. This means every time you interrupt or immobilize, you apply burning and slow. And those disable foes is everything included. Stun, daze, knockback, pull, knockdown, sink, float, and so on and so on. And you have Axe 2, Axe 3, Shield 5, Scepter 3, Virtue F1, the third ability, the pull from the burning, the F3, the second ability, the taunt. So you have a total of six attacks to trigger this effect here. And it applies burning and slow, and here is the most important one, the slow, because slowed enemies, they are not able to move around really fast. Their skills and actions are slower, which means they will also not deal so much damage as they would onto you. And that's like the build here, how you should use it mainly. Yeah, I will show you here again just the trait lines a little bit, which ones do the work. Chains of Light has also a nice range. Then the F3 ability, Chapter 3, Heated Rebuke, pulls the enemy players towards a point. And then, which one was it? Yes, F3. Chapter 2, Daring Challenge, taunts the enemy players and gives you retaliation, which means they will attack you and they will also get their reflected damage back to them, which is really huge, this combo here. Then to the healing skill, or what was I showing the next? No, just some. I was thinking of the combos that you can use. The healing skill, as said, you can use it 3 times. Wait with the recharges, don't use the last charge of it. And then Mantra of Truth is like a must-have because it applies cripple, weakness, and blindness. And really annoying. Cripple, the enemies have to run out of your symbols, for example, and with cripple they will do it really slow. And weakness, they will deal less damage to you, and blind, they will miss an attack. So you can use it on multiple things. Contemplation of Purity, for me, a must-have, especially if they have Condi players. It is stun break and it cures you from all conditions. It does convert them into boons, which means if you get feared and Condi bombed, you will get resistance and 5 boons, for example. Then the last one is the utility skill that you can freely swap. I'm just doing it here with the Signet of Judgment because it gives you 10% damage reduction to normal damage and condition damage, and it is a second stun break, and additional to that, retaliation and burning in the enemies. But basically I use it because it has a short cooldown, it's a nice stun break, and the damage reduction comes pretty nice. What you can use now is, if you want to pressure enemies more and faster, you can go with Potent Haste. It gives you, each time you activate it, 1 second quickness and 5 stacks of might. which will boost your damage quite a bit. And the last charge should give you even longer quickness and some more might, but I'm not so sure about this. Let's see, yes, 4.5 seconds almost quickness, and in addition to that 8 stacks of might plus an immobilize. This could be really nice against DPS comps or tanky comps to just burst them a little bit harder. Then I'm seen also using Save Yourselves, pretty strong skill as well. Fury, Might, Protection, Regeneration, Retaliation, Swiftness, Vigor and Resistance. And it is a stun break, and it puts the conditions from your ally to yourself, which is also pretty nice. In many situations useful, but because of the long cooldown I'm not such a big fan of it. So my Signet is basically this, everything of this, just in a smaller version without the boons. Then I'm seeing also the Sword of Justice for extra damage, and you can put it on an area, for example symbol on the left, this one on the right, and the enemies have to run away. And what I like to use also a lot is Stand Your Ground, especially against enemies who will CC you quite a lot. It helps your ally and yourself as well to just maintain steady, so you will not get CC'd. You can use your healing skill, your everything what you want to be annoying onto enemies players. And the elite skill has to stay renewed focus because it is your lifesaver, and it just can help you out in many situations. I'm just here showing after you wasted your virtues you can just use your elite skill and you have them up again. And then what is important, learn the best usage of your tons, which means the F1, F2, F3. They all have like 5 different abilities, and you should really learn them and max them out. And especially as the Firebrand, just the CC part is the most important one. On the healing one, F2 to heal your ally. On the third ability to grant stability, protection, to taunt the enemy players, block incoming projectiles, and so on and so on. And now that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about Guild Wars 2 PvP or the Firebrand, feel free to ask me in game or under this video. And of course you can now subscribe to my YouTube channel while you are watching here 3 of my other videos, and my subscribe button. And I really hope you enjoyed this second video. I hope it was not too long and not too much information, and I hope you liked the gameplay, and I see you now on my next videos. Thanks all for watching, have a good one, bye bye all.